Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Braid. The long-awaited fifth part of Let's Play Braid, I suppose, which is actually going to be the sixth world, aka the last world, unless you go and get all of the stars and get the super secret special ending, which, you know, people have a tendency to say it blows their mind, and it actually is pretty excellent. So, you know, we'll get to that eventually, but for now, let's get through the main last part of the game. So this is World 6, and this is the only world in which we really have an accessory. As you can see here, when we press the down key, we drop a ring, which causes kind of a time distortion bubble to happen. Anything that happens inside of that ring happens a lot slower than anything that happens outside of it. And it's got a... let's put it this way, the closer something is to the ring, the more it's affected by time. So, even things that aren't within that circle are a little bit affected by time, depending on how close they are. So, this is used in a lot of ways to really good effect here, and actually, this world has some pretty intuitive puzzles, but also ones that are somewhat difficult to pull off, as you'll see over the course of this. So this one's relatively easy, and most people should be able to get this one on their first try, at least assuming they understand the mechanics of how the ring works the first time they play through. But things do get a lot trickier. And of course, it doesn't help if you get killed by the hedgehogs either. And in fact, there's one puzzle in here that I remember very vividly the first time I played through the game. Gave me fucking fits. Like, I had no idea how to solve it. But, you know, eventually I figured it out. So here, this is another one that's not too difficult to suss out. Just one thing that's worth noting is it's better to put the rings on the far left side of the clouds, because then more of the cloud is affected by slowing time, which allows you to jump on the other one faster, and the other cloud is less affected by the slowing of time, which allows it to approach your cloud faster, if that makes sense. And then here we've got basically the same thing as we had in World 2, or World 3, I've kind of forgotten by now, it's been so long. But basically we need to get these platforms close enough together that we can jump over to that cannon and get the puzzle piece. But I've placed the ring in the wrong location here. What we need to do is actually go back up and set it a little bit more in the center, because our desired goal here is that our jump, the height of our jump, will put us well within that ring, so that we'll fall a lot slower and thus have more time to land on that second platform. So let's see how this works. So yeah, our jump here should put us in there, and then, yes, magically the platform just comes out underneath us because of our delayed jump time. Now here's where things start to get a little bit trickier. Still not too bad, but you can have some troubles here if you're not paying attention. The first puzzle piece is relatively easy to get. You're basically just going to jump over here, and you're going to put this ring down, and this will set yourself up in a situation where your jumping is a lot slower than it takes for those guys to fire out of the cannon. And then you can just do a quick triple bounce and get up there to get that puzzle piece. So yeah, that one's no big deal, but the other two are significantly harder, particularly the one that requires the use of the key to get down to that switch that is just below us right now. So the first thing we're going to do here, after getting killed by the hedgehog, is we're going to put ourselves in a position where we can jump up to where the cannon is. At least I believe that is how I solve the puzzle typically here. Let's check it out. This one is a little bit finicky for me, and actually probably one of my least favorite puzzles in the game, just in terms of it working properly. It seems like you have to be pretty much perfect with your jump timing here. This is much more of a platforming type puzzle than like a conceptual puzzle, but that's fine. Now, if I can only get this second bounce off of this hedgehog, I would be able to get up there, get to the cannon, and the rest is basically gravy. Let's see if I get it on this try. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be good. Excellent. So once you get up here, basically, the only reason you're up here is so you can get a higher jump to bounce on this hedgehog, and then get to that platform on the top right. So if you haven't noticed thus far in the game, the higher you are when you jump, like the greater the distance you fall before you bounce, the greater the distance you will go up as well. So then we're just going to pick up this puzzle piece over here, because the reason we got the key before going after this puzzle piece is because both of the next puzzle pieces require us to be in this area at the same time, roughly, so might as well kill two birds with one stone. And now basically we're just going to kind of wait it out until we get a hedgehog that actually manages to, you know, get down to our area so we can bounce on it and get to that puzzle piece. No harder than that. So this one should be our, our man. If we just bounce on him here, we can pick up this puzzle piece, jump over the fireball, and we're good. Then we just need one more hedgehog to kind of come down and fall, yeah, in between those platforms. Good. And what we're going to do with him is bounce up to that cannon that's firing extremely rapidly. But first, you know, I've got to mix up time a little bit so that I don't get killed by this fireball every single time I jump. But I've also got to get the jump positioned properly so I don't just bounce off the fuse of the cannon ineffectually. Oh, so close. Alright. 8th time's a charm. Here we go. 9th time's a charm. Excellent. And then we're just going to toss down that time distortion ring here. What this will do is cause the cannon to fire its fireballs slow enough that we can actually get through here with the key. If we don't cause any sort of time distortion to happen with those fireballs, we're completely fucked. They're going to fire way too fast for us to do anything about it. So with that done, we can basically just come up here, drop down, and pick up this last puzzle piece and move on from this level. Certainly not one of the hardest levels in the game, but this is where things in World 6 really start to pick up and get a little bit more tricky. Believe you me, there are harder puzzles than that coming up, particularly on this level and the level after it. So the first thing we're going to do is just distort time around here, have to kill the enemies, and have to kind of mess up that platform that's directly above us. This is another one of those levels like in World 3, where there's 2 platforms coming out at roughly the same speed, but you need the one that started from further back to come out first. So now that we've ensured that'll happen, we'll just drop the time distortion ring here around the piranha plant, otherwise it is completely impassable. I promise you that. I've tried many a time to get through this, putting the time distortion ring in different spots. This is the best you can do. And after that, we just got a similar situation to what we've seen before. We're going to wait it out here until we can reach this puzzle piece. This one is not too bad, but the ones that come later on in this level are pretty heinous. Or the one that comes later on in this level is pretty heinous, I should say. But there's a trick to it that actually I'll show you that makes it easier than I think most people tend to do it. And it involves the fact that you can actually pause time in Braid, which a lot of people, including myself, tend to forget because you don't use it that often. But using it here makes things a lot easier. So we come across here, we've got another situation where we have to kind of synchronize these plants to get these hedgehogs across. And if you remember on World 4, we had a situation where we had to do this by moving forward and backward in time, moving left to right. So what we have just done here is synced them up so that all of the plants were down at the same time. And then we have to get 2 guys across, but for some reason, and I still don't know why, the timing was a little bit messed up on that one. So we're going to do that again, and just try to get all of these plants synced up again. And when you get them synced up, all you have to do is rewind time and then pause it by pressing up on the D-pad or up on the directions. And as long as they're all down, you should be able to get, you know, as many hedgehogs across as you need. We're going to take 3 this time, just so if I do mess up, I can still redeem myself potentially. Because you do need a double bounce to get up here. So we'll bounce 1, bounce 2, almost messed it up, but still figured it out. I made it look relatively easy there, despite a couple of stumbles or a couple of missteps. Don't feel stupid if you didn't get that puzzle. That is a very tricky one. Now the first puzzle on elevator action is actually one of my favorites in the game because it seems intuitive enough that that you can do it on your own relatively quickly, but also you feel like a genius when you figure it out, despite the limited number of elements that are available to you. So basically you can see, despite my poor timing on the way up this ladder series anyway, you can easily avoid these fireballs and, you know, no problems. But the real problem comes, how are we going to get back down? And I'll show you how we do that after we pick up the key down here. So the rabbit will appear, we're just going to, you know, take this out, get the key, and then hitting the switch will cause the platform to rise back up. And again, I can't overstate how smart I felt when I figured this out. Basically, we're going to put the time distortion ring on the platform, and then we are going to Well, that was poor timing on my part. We'll take it back up to the top. But you can probably see where we're going from here. We're going to hit the switch, which will cause the platform to go down, roughly at the same speed that we will go down the ladders. And this will create enough space between the shots of the fireballs that we can actually get through. So you can see, like, it's affecting the cannon that we need to be affected right now in order to get through. And then, same as it goes down, we go down with it. And then once it gets to the bottom, at the bottom it really doesn't matter because... Oh, well, that was, again, poor timing on my part. But at the bottom it really doesn't matter if your timing's a little bit off because the platform continually stays there, so you can get as many tries as you want. The first two levels are a little bit time sensitive. So we'll just come down here, pick up the time distortion ring as soon as I can because it's kind of frustrating to be slowed down when you know exactly what you're doing. And then we'll pick this one up. And we're doing quite well on the puzzle pieces so far. Now, one of the next puzzle pieces is probably among the most frustrating ones in the game. That one that you can see on your screen right now. For most people anyway, and I can't deny that I had a hell of a time with it as well. This is the one that I was referring to earlier when I said that I had been had vivid memories of being frustrated by one of these puzzles. But we'll start by getting the much easier one. So you can see as we step on these platforms, we're not affected by time. So we're basically just going to ride this one up. But there's been a slight glitch in the system. Before we ride it up, we need to make sure that this time distortion ring is here affecting the cannon. So there's actually enough space for us to get through those fireballs. This one's not bad at all. Assuming that you realize that there's a little bit of extra space on this platform that you can ride up to this point. Otherwise, if you think the platform doesn't have any space for you to stand on, you might be frustrated, like, how the fuck do I get up there? But, you know, other than that, not too bad. The next one is, it's a little tricky. I'll show you how you do it. First things first, you want to make sure the time distortion ring is on this platform, the bigger one. Because being on the bigger one, it will cause the bigger one to fall more slowly when we hit the switch, which will allow the platform that's directly below us right now to actually continue on and not get stopped by that platform that's falling vertically. So as you can see, the smaller platform should be able to make its way through now, and that's the only reason we needed to put the time distortion ring there. And then once we get a chance, we're going to jump up onto the larger platform here with a ladder on it. Pick up the time distortion ring so that I'm not wasting my time being slowed. And then we're going to hit this switch, which will cause this ladder to fall. And then here's where things get a little bit either tricky or cool, depending on how long it took you to figure out this puzzle. So you're going to stand on this platform, which will cause you to not be affected by reversals in time. And then you're going to rewind until that initial ladder is falling again. Then you're going to jump on it, rewind time, and kind of just fall into that spot. I'm sorry if that was a little bit confusing. Usually I don't get it on the first try, but yes, basically you want to get on the ladder and then rewind time, because for a second after you get off that green platform, you're still not affected by time, so you can just kind of ride the ladder up. So here, this one is much easier compared to the ones before it. We're going to set the time distortion ring on that initial spot where the key is, and you'll see why in a minute. And then we're going to put it back down here and slow these fireballs. And this will allow us to get up the ladder, obviously. Now, in this spot, we're not affected by reversals in time. So we can just rewind until the ring is where the key is, and then by hitting this switch, you can see that the platform is going to move slowly, and more importantly, the key is going to fall much more slowly, which will allow us to actually get it as it comes over the pit of fire here. And you want to make sure on this jump that you press down, or whatever the button is on the Xbox 360 controller, to grab the ring again. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible for you to get back up this ladder, because the ring is going to fall into the fire. And Lord of the Rings, this is not. So we're going to go up here, get that last puzzle piece, and then if I could actually jump through this spot here, thankfully, we're just going to abandon our ring here, and then reach the end of World 6. And of course we'll get another Mario homage here. Excellent. And then we're just going to go solve this puzzle, and you know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is actually a pretty good puzzle run for me. I think this game, if nothing else, this Let's Play has given me a little bit more aptitude when it comes to puzzles. Something that literally could not be more useless in my everyday life, but hey, I'll take it. And with the completion of this, we will have completed all of the main worlds of Braid, and that will mark a kind of hiatus point for this Let's Play, because I basically need to find the time to pick up all of the stars and show you guys where they are. One of the stars required to unlock the special ending, or the special world actually requires you to basically sit and watch the game for about 2 or 3 hours, and you can't just like leave your computer or your console running. You have to jump at a certain spot. Yeah, which is kind of a dick move, but I'm still into it. I still have plans to show off the stars, but quite frankly, I'm gonna need a little bit more time to figure out when I'll have enough free time to do that. But rest assured that will be coming. And I just want to say I've really enjoyed doing this like more laid back, kind of serious Let's Play. I've had a great time with it. Doing a lot of more zany, funny stuff recently, but thank you guys for watching this. I've been into this. This has been a refreshing change of pace for me. And with that, we'll call it quits on Braid for the next little while.